Angry words, on the other hand, cause the release of harmful fight or flight chemicals. You know, I've talked to you about this before, right?
Yeah.
This is not new. We know that, what is it? We're made up of like 90% of water. And so they've done all these studies where if you speak loving words to a glass of water and then you take pictures of it, it's all in perfect divine harmony. If you speak angry words to it, it's the same thing that's going on in our bodies. It's a proven, measurable scientific fact. So what they're saying here in the quest of Jehovah's Holders is we can literally make ourselves sick by the misuse of the power of the spoken word. Robert Knapp writes in the book 12 Powers in You, when we talk in an unloving, controlling, or harsh manner about others, it can lead to disorders of our throat or our voice box, laryngitis, sore throats, nodules on the voice cords, and even cancer of the throat. Can be the direct result of the misuse of the power of the spoken word. The Jehovah's continue in the quest book, every word we speak is saturated with energy that will create or destroy. We're accountable for every idle word we speak, for it brings into manifestation after its kind. You know, I've always admired quiet people, and now I know why. My father was very quiet. You know, I'm the opposite. Blah, 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 blah. You know, I'm trying to get better at that. Jennifer quoted this in her meditation, but I'm going to say it again because it's so powerful. Jesus tells us in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 37, by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. By your words. The awesome power of the word can't be more dramatically or succinctly expressed than that. The prophet Jeremiah wrote, the burden of the Lord you shall mention no more, for the burden is in every man's own word. You know, Jeremiah is really laying it on the line here. He's saying don't blame God for your troubles. It's your own words that bring burdens upon you. Don't blame inflation, don't blame the politics, don't blame the government, don't blame big business. Don't blame anything but yourself. It is your own words that are bringing you trouble. Wake up. Do you believe this?
Yes.
Oh, good. You know that every word, whether positive or negative, is determined by the consciousness of the individual. My present state of consciousness will determine my use of the power of the spoken word. Think about that. What you say expresses your consciousness. For instance, if my overall character is one of greed or fear or shame, this is going to determine the character of my words, right? You only have to listen to a person for 5 minutes, folks, to figure them out. That's all it takes. You'll know where they are, their state of consciousness. And you're also going to have a pretty good idea about what their life is like, whether they're happy or miserable, whether they're successful or not, whether they're healthy and energetic or chronically ill and sick. Ever been in the presence of someone all they talk about is their ailments? And how do you get all this information about the person? You get it through every word they speak. There was a Unity student that I knew from Puerto Rico who said, I used to lovingly ask people when I met them on the street, how are you today? But I'd inevitably get a recital of all their ills and all the negative situations in their lives. So now I ask them, how's your faith today? It usually surprises the person, but it calls, right, for an affirmative reply. How would you or I answer that question? How's your faith today? Yes. I can determine my own consciousness by listening to my own words, my fears, my worries, my dislikes, and my likes are all expressed in my speech. If I carefully listen to myself, I will soon know who I am and what I'm all about. And if I don't like what I'm all about, what do I do? You know, I can remember the example of that laser light. I'm going to be on Tuesday. I want all your prayers. Undergoing laser surgery. So I'm like really relating this today. But I gotta, you know, in terms of this power of power, I've got to remember the example of the laser light, that it's coherent light. It gets all of its power from its unity of purpose. That's why it's so effective. And I can apply that same principle to my words. Are my words coherent? Am I consistent in proclaiming my good? Is there a unity of purpose in the words that I speak? Or am I sending myself mixed messages to both myself and to the world? My words tell God also. Remember that vibration, the A vibration? It tells God, that ultimate creative intelligence of this world, just what it is that I want. If I want prosperity, I have to speak what? Only words of prosperity. If I want peace, I have to do what? Speak peace. You know, I know some of you have been in Unity for 40 years, and you've heard this over and over again. But I just want you for one day, pay attention to every word you speak and see where you're at. Charles Fillmore wrote that words of truth generate a vibration which, like the circles made when you throw a pebble into a pool, go around the world. Now, there are now a class of special words. Did you know that? There are power words that are available to you and me. Did you know it?
No.
Power words are words that have an extra charge within them, an extra spiritual charge, an atom-influencing charge, because they're words of truth. They have been said repeatedly over long periods of time by thousands upon millions of people. You thinking of, you might know one? God is a power word. The words of Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. The words of the Lord's Prayer, our Father who art in heaven. The words of the Islam faith, there is no God but Allah. The words in the name and through the power of Jesus Christ. We could go on and on and on. What is the mystic branch of Judaism? Kabbalah?
Yeah.
The Kabbalah is the study of all the words, meaning God. There's power in these words, folks. Power, magnificent power. Emily H. Cady, the teacher of the Fillmores, wrote, the name, the words, Jesus Christ, with all their original meaning behind them and embodied in them, produce spiritual vibrations of infinite finesse and power. And the master of spiritual things understands this. Does that mean you have to say Jesus Christ? No. But just know that that is a power phrase. Find the power phrases that you resonate with on a soul level and start speaking them. You know, whenever we're together in this church and we're doing our affirmations, we are speaking words of power. You know, when we say the statement of faith, the daily word affirmation, the prayer of protection, when we sing Surely the Presence, when we speak our Lord's Prayer or sing it, the peace song, it's infused with power beyond belief. And the more feeling and intensity that you put into speaking these words, the more our bodies and our states of consciousness will be transformed. So, in conclusion today, I want to do a little exercise with you. I want us to practice a bit together. The activation of the faculty of power. You know, I talk about spiritually activating it. How do you do it? By using power words. So let's join together in saying our statement of faith. But this time, try to infuse every word spoken with your utmost passion and intensity. Now, I don't know if it's up. It's up.
Yeah.
And so you also have the handout that Lois so beautifully put together for us. It's written there as well. So let's say together, this time infused with power. There is one presence and upon thousands of people in unity are speaking that today. Let's say our daily word affirmation again together. I gotta find it. I am one with divine mind. Let's do it again with passion and intensity. I am one with divine mind. And now, finally, our prayer protection. Again, let yourself fully feel the real meaning of these words, what we're saying at the end of every service. Again, thousands upon thousands of Unity students are saying this morning throughout this nation and the world. It's very, very common that the services ended this way, and my talk will end this way as well. So together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And so let's stand now and join our voices together in singing the song, is it?
Oh yeah, hey ya.
Oh yeah, hey ya, another word for the divine, yes?